Today's weather? Sunny with a 100% chance of government overreach. The Kate Daly Show starts now.
There's not one of you who would dare to write his honest opinions. The business of a journalist is to destroy truth, to lie outright, to pervert, to vilify, to fawn at the feet of mammon, and to sell himself, his country, and his race for his daily bread. So we have a structure of manipulation which is string-pulling the politicians of all political colours, the media, the intelligence agencies, the big companies, and the global banking system. And the plan now is to create so much conflict around the world, so much chaos, including a massive global collapse, which they'll engineer someone else to be blamed for, that we'll have a situation where we'll have a massive problem which has to find a solution. And the solution will be centralized government, centralized bank.
All right, welcome. Kate Daly Show. And of course, the last hour on a Wednesday. You've made it halfway through your week. That was David Icke talking about how horrid journalism has become, worshiping the AP, of course, and the AP spins out the stories and how they want to make you feel about every story. It's abhorrent, but every news outlet, even down to local, is doing it. You can't even trust your local news sources because of the fact that they will worship the AP, and the AP is the funnel of disinformation and narrative information. Also, the fact that what are we turning into as a society? And of course, they will implode the economy to come up with their solution, which is their hill to die on, which is digital tyranny. This is why I tell you, please text Birch Gold 989898. Text my name, Kate. That's the phone number, 989898, and then text them my name, and you're going to get some information on what to do to protect yourself from this. And like I said yesterday, or as we talked about yesterday, Uncle Milty and I, you don't fear when you're prepared, and you don't fear when you know that you've done all you can do. And this is one of those steps. So make sure that you text them, because they're going to give you some very worthwhile information that you can peruse. And then you can decide whether or not to do that. But it doesn't cost you anything to get yourself protected. But when David Icke was talking about it, it just brought to my mind how preparedness is really the antidote to the feardom that's coming. And if you want to protect yourself and go into this with a little bit more of a very good perspective that you can make it through anything, and you've got to do what you can do to protect yourself, I would say that would be a very, very good step. 989898 and text my name, Kate. Melissa Smith is with me. Hi, Melissa. How are you?
I am fabulous because it's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday, Midwest Melissa. And I just wanted to announce on Friday, we have Greg Manarino with an announcement, and also Dr. Artis is coming on the show. I always love it when both guys visit the show. We'll be talking money with Greg. Of course, he's the Robin Hood of Wall Street, and really accurate. And then, of course, Dr. Artis, Dr. Artis, Brian Artis always has great info. Newest cutting edge info. And tomorrow we have Thomas Del Beccaro and his book, the lessons of the American civilization, pardon me. And then also Chris Ann Hall tomorrow too with Uncle Milty. All right, Melissa, we're going to be talking about where we're at right now as far as our society goes, what we kind of want to ignore too.
Yeah.
In a way.
So I gotta kind of set it up by telling you what my how I got to this place.
Mm-hmm.
So I've noticed it all through the summer, just this kind of edgy, anxious feeling, not anxious, not like anxiety anxious, but just, there's just always this feeling like the hackles on the back of my neck are standing up.
Mm-hmm.
And periodically I'll just think, what am I feeling? What am I tuning into that I'm not really seeing or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
And I listen to a lot of just whatever on YouTube. I listen to a lot of interviews with people that think and talk about all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the interviews, the guest was saying, we live in a dystopian society already, but our brains just haven't caught up to that yet. And I went, that's it. And so I decided to take a look. How dystopian are we?
Right.
And I don't know about anybody else, but I've read a fair number of dystopian novels going all the way back, to high school. I decided to read 1984 when I was in high school, and that kind of creeped me out then, and read
Mm-hmm.
Brave New World, and there's, all of those. And I've kind of kept up and checked in with that literature. Fahrenheit 451,
Mm-hmm.
or I read The Handmaid's Tale before it was a TV thing. I
Right.
read it many years ago, and it kind of spooked me. Every time I read them, I'm always like, okay, that just made this. I get that same feeling after reading one of those books that I'm having right now. And so, how dystopian are we, and what are we kind of shutting our eyes to?
Okay.
There's things happening right in front of us, and we're being told, don't look at that, don't think about
Mm-hmm.
that. That's
Sure.
not what you think it is. So just ignore it and move on. Move on with your life.
You're right.
Yeah. So let's start with this piece of weirdness. How dystopian is this?
Okay.
Um, if you have bought a new car recently,
Mm-hmm.
you should know that your car is sending more data
Mm-hmm.
or equivalent data back to the car companies, who are also now selling that data, just like Facebook does, just like anybody does. But your car is sending as much data about you to the car companies as your smartphone is sending to their parent company.
Yeah. And the newer cars, it's so bad that you can't opt out. You can't get out of it. You can try, but you
Some
can't.
companies some companies say they that you can opt out. Whether you actually are opting out or not,
Mm-hmm.
hard to say. I mean, how would you prove that or not?
Yeah.
I don't know how you
Right.
could ever say, how can they verify that? But they're not. So the way it's being sold is, oh, it's like having a black box on an airplane.
Mm-hmm.
They can monitor and see, if you're in an accident, they know how fast you were going. They can create, the circumstances of the accident, or they can monitor your engine performance and let you know when your battery's about ready to go, or when the
Mm-hmm.
tire pressure's bad in your tires, or whatever, all this stuff. But it's also being packaged. Don't forget, if you have a backing camera in your car,
Mm-hmm.
there's a camera in your car.
Yeah.
It's taking pictures and
Right.
sending that back too.
Mm-hmm. So
It
true.
has it has a microphone inside your car that's listening to what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Your car knows everywhere you go, how long you stay there. It knows what your presets are on your radio. It
Yeah.
knows a lot of information about you. And by the way, lest you think that this is just harmless,
Mm-hmm.
the car companies are selling that data. And one of the places they're selling it to is insurance companies. So when you go to get auto insurance, you may already be tagged with whether you're a safe driver or not.
Yeah. You're right. No, you're right. It's creepy. It's so creepy. It's beyond creepy. And people think, well, it's cool. It's not cool. We had the guy from the association that tries to fight a lot of this on the show, and he was just abhorred to think that people don't realize what their car is absorbing from their personal life.
A
We don't
lot.
realize, yeah, a lot.
And we what we don't know is, like I said, there's a microphone.
Hmm.
They can listen to you. Are they listening to your conversations?
I
Probably.
would imagine. Would imagine that's why they have that too.
Yeah. So if you're talking to your kids on the drive home from church about what they just heard at church, are they
Hmm.
listening to that? And who are they telling that to?
Right.
Or who are they selling that to is the biggest thing. We've talked about this on the show a while ago. Right now there needs to be a big fight. It's not happening, but there needs to be a fight over who does your individual data belong to? Is it yours, or is it somebody else's?
Good question. Are we ever going to, can we sue for our own information? Can we sue for privacy? Has anyone truly done that with today's technology that we have right now?
Well, we're all willing to go along because isn't
Hmm.
this is how dystopian everything works, right?
Hmm.
We go along with it because we've been sold something. We've been told, oh, won't it be great to know when your tire pressure is low, or when, we can reconstruct an accident. Think how helpful that will be. And we don't really process or think about what we have given away of ourselves by trading that for a little bit of safety or protection, maybe.
Yeah, very, very true.
Some of them even have like thumbprints.
Yeah.
They have some cars now can even they're doing facial recognition.
Yeah.
You don't think about all of that technology coming with your brand new car that smells so wonderful when you drive it away.
I know.
We don't
Self-driving
think about that.
aspects of the new cars. And it was interesting. There was a huge buy, and I'll do more on this on the show, but Bain, of course, Bain Capital, did a big buy, 4.5 billion this summer of this company called Investnet. And they have this technology that combines all the personal information along with investing. So they added AI, and then they also added, it was worth a lot of money, $4.5 billion for Bain and BlackRock to consume, to buy up, because the technology sort of takes all your personal info, about the companies that you're investing in, and they're investing, and your personal info. It's a technology driver for combining info that's out there and info that they can get in a very weird technology way, and add that into an investment portfolio. And this company, the CEO died in a car crash in 2019, and when it was taken over and moved into this direction. And then they just bought it. And so when you keep your eyes on data is king. So the car data, your financial data, everything is combined now, and it's creating an entire you. It's creating an entire portfolio.
Well, let's add to that. And we already know this. Everybody knows this. When we talk about Big Brother, which was the 1984 thing, right? Big Brother's watching, and we were all creeped out by that back in high school. Right. But right now, 97% of the American population owns a smartphone.
Sad. I mean, it is.
So
I have one, you have
Big
one.
Brother is legitimately watching. And we refuse to think of our smartphone as Big Brother.
Yeah. We kind of feel like if we just pretend they're not, we just go along with our lives, just kind of pretend they're not. We'll be right back. Kate Daly Show, more with Midwest Melissa when I return.